Let's do this. So we're gonna start with wudu. These are the two spots in the Quran. Now let's look at the tricks to memorize these, okay? This one is the main one though, okay? So this is the main wudu verse, and this one is the exception rules plus other rules. Okay, very important. So we're gonna first go through 5, 6 because you'll understand why, and then we have to go through this one. But just before we do that, we have to remember how do we memorize this. Okay, well, so I'm gonna first, like always, tell you my tricks that I do. First, is there's a sequence, and one thing I forgot to mention here is association plus patterns. Okay, you want to look for pattern recognition. Okay, patterns. Um, so here you have a sequence. So 5, 6. It follows each other. You know what I mean? 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's a sequence. So that's easy. Like one after the other. And in here, there's instructions. There's one step, then the next step, then the next step. So let's go to that verse. Big verse. And we're gonna go through it because it's a very big, important verse. First key thing to know, the word salah is directly mentioned. So that's how we know. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu idha kumtum ila salah. So yeah, so all you who have believed, when you are standing or have stood for salah, this is the first thing. So wash. So right away, this is the one huge word. Okay, I'm gonna open another one on the side. The first word Allah uses faghlisu. This one word here, okay, is the verb ghusl, okay, or ghasala. And it's very important. So it's like it's not wipe, okay, as we're gonna see later on to imsahu. So the verb to wipe, big difference. So what does it wash mean? Like literally, you have to pour water on you, not take a little bit and just rub your arm. You have to literally pour the water, okay? So very important, the verb to wash, and you're gonna see why I'm putting so much emphasis here later on. Okay, your faces, wujuhakum, very important. So you have one step, wa aydiyakum, so two steps, so one after the other. So 5, 6. I don't know if you get my logic here, the 5, 6, one after the other. Ilal marafiq. Okay, so to your elbows. So what is it saying? So we have to constantly wash. Okay, I can't select this properly, so I'm selecting this one. So wash face and your hands to your, so all that needs to be poured out, like properly washed. First logical question comes, like, because we have to address the Sunnis, right? So the washing. So the typical thing Sunnis go, oh, you have to do it 3 times. You know, the typical 3 times. First of all, the wording is not there. So, but that doesn't mean you can't do it 3 times. Can you do it or do it more? But there is an interesting logic, right? So the idea of washing is, and there's a reason why there's no numbers here, because let's say your hands are dirty. It's very important. That means you could do 3 or 5 or 7 or 1 or whatever. But what the problem is to say you have to do 3 minimum. That is the problem, because wait, why do you have to do 3? Where does it say that? That's a different that is the problem. Other than that, if you're wanting to do 3, 5, very important to know that argument, what I just said, because that is what happens when you get to this question. If you get here, and normally you discuss this with your family or people that don't know. This is a very rare conversation I've ever seen. I never get any issues on this on Salah. Really, never. Nobody argues about this. They're like, bro, this is so obvious, and it's actually written in the Quran. They're actually impressed, and they never debate this. So far, like out of the 7, 10, I don't know how many years now, this is the least amount of problem that we have in the Quran about Salah. But we have the answer. That is huge, okay? And then, actually, let's just continue this way. And then, so first wash, and then wipe. Okay, wamsahu. Okay, wipe your head. So head and face, clear distinction. Okay, between the two. Make this smaller, maybe. Okay, clear distinction between the two. And obviously, we know what a head is, right? It's the top of your head where your hair is, right? بِرُؤُسِهِمْ بِرُؤِسِكُمْ. So your heads. So basically, you take the water, you drop it. Your hand is wet, right? That wet hand that you have, you wipe, right, your head with it, and your feet. So you wash your hand, you wipe your feet till the both of, and this is in dual, okay? So vein. So you have both of your ankles. So you feel the ankle. But so far you guys are good, right, on this part. But so wiping your feet,
Yes.
washing your faces and your hands. Okay, good. So
Yeah.
you
Five,
till
six.
the elbows. So one more, there's a ilal marafiq. So to your elbows, ilal marafiq, and then ilal ka'bain. So there's this connection between these ends. Okay, interesting. And what's nice about this word al ka'bain is connected to the word Kaaba, right? So the Kaaba, so the same word, same.
Still
This
there.
is a very in a battle context. Like you break the person's ankle, you break this, the person can't walk. This is the most weakest place right here. So this is the
Oh.
spot, right? But remember, this is a, they call it, the, what's that, Achilles heels or something, like.
Yes.
So this is the talon that he's saying, the heel, but it's actually right up to here. Boom. That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
Very simple. Okay. Now this is, so the first thing is, there are, so 4 steps. So wash faces
Faces.
and hands till elbows. So you have this. So wash faces. So let's go back here. Okay. Wash faces and hands. Okay. So, oh, we're going to keep that back. So one. So this is, let's just say 1 and 2. Okay. Like that. And here's going to be 3. So wipe. Okay. So there's keywords, right? So this is wash. And wipe. Head. Okay. Head. And feet till ankles. Okay, so this is going to be 4. So 4 steps. Very important. So the question would be, how many steps are there in your wudu? 4.
4.
Simple as that. But divided into 2. 1, and very important distinction, 1 is washing, 1 is wiping. You have to know that. Okay? And these are the places that your body is touching the floor. And sujda, right? So, exactly, right? Remember, if you're like dirty, completely like, stinky coming from work or whatever it could be, gym, this and that, and you smell whatever, take a shower. This is symbolic, okay? This is very symbolic. This is commanded by Allah, right? These are what I mean by symbolic, like in the sense of like you cannot do salah without this, okay? These steps, okay? These have to be done like this. And most importantly, if you're like super dirty, like I don't know if you do like what kind of walking job, I don't know, something that you walk a lot and your foot stinks. Okay, let's just say you have like dirty, like 10 hour a day you've been walking. I don't know, something like that, and you're like that because not everybody does this, right? But there's people like that, and your foot smells. Like before you do your wudu, like clean your feet, like properly, because when you're gonna go there and touch your feet here, your hands are gonna stink. Obviously, it's not like rocket science, right? This is, and hold on, you know what? We're gonna see something right now. We're gonna see let's just see the exception rules. But before we get to that, it's just important to understand that this is like a holy thing to do, like sacred thing. You're what, and we're gonna see the purposes, right? You're standing before Allah. You're clean, and we're gonna see some of that stuff with Musa, right? Allah sees Musa. First thing Allah is telling Musa before glorifying himself, take
Take
off
his
your
sandal.
sandals.
True.
You're in a holy place of Tuwa. You're in this holy place. Take off your sandals. Why? Your sandals are dirty. You're in a clean place. So the idea of being clean in Allah is huge. It's not it's not taking like, you're just a bit dirty, come and say, no. God doesn't like dirty. He's gonna purify us in the akhirah and all that. Cleaning is such a beautiful, it's a huge thing. Okay? So when you're doing your wudu, you should be already like, you should be clean already. God, like you can tell Allah, inna Allah yuhibbul mutahhirin. Allah loves those who are clean, who purify themselves, who cleanse themselves, right? So you should be already somewhat clean. You're coming in front of God. Like think about it. If you're gonna go to an interview and you're gonna go meet, not even interview, you're gonna go meet the president or something, someone huge, someone's really special or very beautiful woman. Are you really gonna go dress bad, smell bad? This, of course not, right? Common sense. If somebody says yes, I will. You have an issue.
Yes,
you
I
will
will.
you will 100% do that, guys. We're in front of Allah. Huge difference. You can't. It's not even comparable, right? He sees me. I always put a specific dress when I do my salah. I have a special way to be. I have to always have that. It's always gonna be washed by cleaned by my wife and all this and that. Um, and the one I wear is the one I love the most. But I have a lot of them. But I just like this one I wear. But I always put something on that prayer time. We're gonna see that. But the point is not that. The point is, are you realizing who you're standing in front of? And we're gonna see in the purposes that on the day of judgment we're standing before, practicing before Allah, this and this and that, right? So we're gonna talk about all that again today. But this is the clean thing. So remember, Musa, take off your sandals. Imagine you're in front of Allah, the only person that gets to hear Allah talk like this, and the first thing is like, take off your sandal, and Allah is talking like this. So that tells you right away, God is extremely peculiar when it comes to being clean. And just the fact that he says take off your sandals is pretty deep. Like, why did he just, bro? God is looking at how you are, how you're dressed, how everything. You think God designed us? Come on. Okay, so think about that. So this, when I say symbolic, I don't mean like just for show. Not symbolic in that sense. Like symbolic in like this has extremely high value. This is extremely precious instructions, and make sure that you're already somewhat clean, and you're just doing now you're even more clean by doing this in front of Allah. And now let's see what I mean. We're gonna see as we continue.